Hey guys, welcome to your mobility and stretch yoga flow. This one's going to be quite gentle. We're not going to incorporate too many strengthening poses, so we can just get a nice relax and release throughout the full body. When you're ready, we can start by taking a soft gaze towards the floor, or maybe even closing down the eyes. We want to soften the full body from head to toe. So we start by bringing the awareness to the crown of the head, and we let it soften. Awareness comes to the cheekbones as they relax. The jaw unclenches, drops away from the roof of the mouth. We let the shoulders fall heavy towards the floor. We're going to move slightly right and left, forwards and backwards, just so we can find a nice sweet spot with the spine, where each vertebra is stacked on top of each other, from the hips right the way up to the neck. Once you find that nice sweet spot, stay in stillness and allow each vertebra to soften one by one, from the back of the neck all the way down to the hips. We relax the rib cage. We let the sit bones melt into the floor. The knees soften. The ankles relax. And one by one, each toe relaxes and releases. Inviting some gentle movement in now. We start by dropping the neck. So tuck the chin in towards the chest. Let the head feel heavy, drop towards the floor. See if you can soften until you can feel the stretch, not only in the back of the neck, but in the upper spine. I'll just take a few breaths here. Once more, let the shoulders drop away from the ears and pull the shoulders back towards the back of the room very slightly to increase the stretch. Let the head sink a little lower. Lifting the head back up to neutral. We drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Once more, holding it here for a few breaths. Let the stretch into the left-hand side of the neck. And we switch sides. Left shoulder to left ear. Stretch it into the right-hand side of the neck. Noticing how one side might feel compared to the other. And with a breath in, we come back up to neutral. Roll the shoulders back, big circles 3 times. And blink open the eyes. And then forward, switching direction. Roll the shoulders 3 times. Nice big slow circles. Starting to invite in some mobility. Then we take the hands up and overhead. Cross the thumbs, palms together. Press the sit bones into the ground and then really reach with the fingertips to extend the spine as much as you can. Once you're here, tick-tock from side to side. Start to mobilize the spine, moving from side to side. We don't have to bend too deeply in this one. Just think about reaching those fingertips, creating more space in the spine as we start to warm up the body. Up and over a couple more times. Now we release the grip. Right hand swings up, right arm swings under the left arm as we find our eagle arms. We press the elbows in together and see if the palms of the hands can connect. Once we're here, We release the back body, squeeze the elbows together, squeeze the hands together. We start to look up, raise the elbows. The arms rise. Elbows lower, chin tucks down. Let's do that 2 more times. We rise up, breathing in. Really stretching the back of the body here. And then lowering it all back down, chin tucks, elbows come in. Let's do that 1 more time to rise. Exhale to lower. And we come back to neutral. Hands come up and overhead, palms touch, cross the thumbs. Press the sit bones into the floor, reach, reach, reach towards the ceiling. And let's do a few more of those tick-tocking motions this time. Noticing if the spine feels a little bit warmer than the last time. Remember to really reach and create space here to mobilize the spine. Back to neutral. Opposite way this time. Left arm swings under the right arm as the elbows cross and the palms find each other. Breathing in to rise up. Breathing out to lower. Breathing in to rise with a stretch in the back of the shoulder blades. Breathing out to lower. 1 more time, we inhale to rise. And exhale to lower it all back down. Back to neutral. Hands come back up and overhead, palms find each other. And then fingertips drop down to the mat. Our right hand crosses over, finds the outer edge of the left knee as our left hand crosses behind us for a spinal twist. Start to look over the left shoulder. And then we'll just switch that out to the other side, finding some mobility, looking over the right shoulder. Opposite way, 2 more times we'll do each side, looking over the left shoulder. And switching it out, moving nice and slowly with control, looking over the right shoulder. Let's do that 1 more time to each side. We're going to hold the twist this time. So pressing the hand into the knee, coming high onto the fingertips, push the ground away from you. Once more, creating space in the spine, and then look over the shoulder. Big breath in to press the sit bones into the floor, push the crown of the head to the ceiling. And breathing out so you can twist a little deeper, look over the shoulder. Let's do 1 more big breath in, make space in the spine. And breathing out into the twist. We'll take that round to the other side. Press those fingertips into the floor, make space in the spine, look over the shoulder. Big breath in, big breath out to twist. Another big breath in, big breath out to twist. And we come back to neutral. Take the feet out in front of you. Take the feet a little bit wider than the hips and bring the hands behind each hip bone. So in line with the hips, fingertips facing in towards the body. And we just let the knees drop from side to side, windshield wiping the legs, waking up the lower body. You might notice if you feel like holding one a little longer than the other, you can hold one side, you can hold the other side. You can move fast or slow, but make sure you're moving with intention. And the next time the knees fall down to the right hand side, leave them there. Spin the back fingertips, the right fingertips so they're facing away from you. The left arm comes up and over so that the 2 hands are in one line, in line with the shin, fingertips facing away. We're going to move into that press up motion here. So the chest is going to come down towards the floor, and then we straighten the arms to push back up. Let's do that 2 more times. Lower and down, rising back up. Lowering the whole way down, rising the whole way back up. Let's switch that out to the other side. So left hand comes up and over till it plants on the floor, fingertips facing away from the body. Switching out the knees, right arm comes up and over so it's in line with the left thigh. Breathing out, we lower the whole way down. Breathing in, we rise up. Breathing out to lower. Breathing in to rise. Final time, breathe out to lower. Breathing in to rise up. And we come back to neutral. Keeping the hands behind us, fingertips facing in, we now bring the feet so that they're in line with the knees and the hips. Once we're here, we're going to press up into a reverse tabletop. So pushing into the heels, pushing into the palms of the hands, we'll start to rise the hips up. Keep the gaze facing the ceiling, don't let the neck drop back. Just focus on lifting the hips and the stretch you're getting in the front of the shoulders. Now lower it back or down, we'll do that 2 more times. So really push the ground away from you. Lift the hips, squeeze the glutes. And lower back down. 1 more time, now we know where we're going. Pressing into the palms, driving through the heels as the hips rise up. Squeeze the glutes, lift the hips a little higher, feel the stretch in the front of the shoulders. And lower it the whole way back down. Bring the heels in towards the bum. Give yourself a big hug, see if you can wrap the shoulder or the elbows around the knees and drop the chin. Stay here for a few breaths and make sure you're breathing into the back body. So big breath in to create space in the back of the rib cage. And then as you breathe out, soften and release. Big breath in, create space in the back of the shoulders, back of the rib cage. And then breathe it out, relax and release. 1 more big breath in. And breathe it all out. Releasing the grip. Crossing the feet through and coming into your child's pose. Now finding whatever version of child's pose feels good for you today. Remember, we're mobilizing and releasing throughout this. So bring the big toes together. You can keep the knees together if that feels good, or you can take the knees a little bit wider if you want to go for a bit of a hip opener. Bring the sit bones down towards the heels and start to crawl the hands towards the front of the room. Bringing the forehead down towards the mat, with the intention of bringing the forehead towards the mat. Few big breaths here. Breathing in. You can breathe out through the mouth. 2 more breaths like this. Breathing in. Out through the mouth. 1 more breath in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Walk the hands in very slightly. So just about 1 hand width distance in towards the body. And then we'll start to make semicircles coming onto the wrists. Coming the whole way up and around until you've got weight on the wrist. And then pushing the sit bones back and swinging around to the other side until you've got weight on the other wrist. Do that a few more times each side. Once more with this movement, take it in your own time. Notice if you feel like holding it at one place. Notice if you feel like moving a little faster or a little slower. And then the next time you come around to the left hand side, we'll make a full big circle. So right over both of the hands and back down. 2 more times this direction. Up and over the wrists. Back down. 1 more big circle up and over the wrists. We come back down. Let's switch sides. 3 big circles in the other direction. Over the wrists. Back down. 2 more big circles, moving in your own time. And 1 final big circle around to the right hand side. And we come back to centre. Keeping the hands where they are, bringing the knees in slightly. We're going to move through some waving motions into our cat-cow. Start to come back towards your tabletop position. Once you get there, drop the belly, pull the shoulders back and away towards the back of the room, look up. Then press into the floor, tuck the chin in, tuck the tailbone in as you start to come the whole way back down with the sit bones towards the heels. Rising up, rippling the spine, vertebra by vertebra, until you come back up to center. Once you're here, drop the belly, look up, pull the shoulders to the back of the room. Coming back up, press the ground away from you, start to tuck everything in as you come back down towards that child's pose position. Then start to ripple the spine up, vertebra by vertebra, back up to your tabletop, dropping the belly, looking up. Let's do this a few more times in your own time. Again, noticing when you feel like holding it, noticing if you don't feel like holding it at all. Just tune into your body and what it needs for this mobility and stretch practice. Let's do that one more round wherever you are. And back through center. Left, actually let's do the right hand side first. Right hand comes to the right ear, bend the elbow. As we breathe out, elbow comes down towards the other elbow, and then as we breathe in, the right elbow comes up towards the ceiling. Look up. 2 more times like this on this side, elbow to elbow, and then breathe in as the elbow rises towards the ceiling. Breathe it out, elbow to elbow. And breathe it in, elbow to the ceiling. Back to neutral, elbow pointing out, and drop the hand down. Let's do that on the other side. Left hand finds the left ear. Breathing out, elbow to elbow. Breathing in, elbow rises up. Breathing out, elbow to elbow. Breathing in as the elbow rises. Breathing out, elbow to elbow. Breathing in, elbow rises once more. Breathing out, elbow to elbow. Breathing in, final time, elbow rises. Then comes back to center, drops it down. Let's do the very similar motion with the knees. So with the right leg, straighten out behind you so that that you bend the toes and the ball of the right foot comes onto the floor. A few times we're just going to rock forwards and backwards on the ball of the back foot. See if you can feel the stretch in the back of the right leg. Find stillness. Lift the right leg high and bend the knee. Do 3 big circles with the right knee as slowly as you can. The biggest circles you can. Opening that right hip. 3 big circles one direction, and you guessed it, 3 big circles in the other direction. Keeping it nice and slow, nice big circles. Final one. Straighten the leg out, point the toe towards the back of the room. Point the toe so much to see if you can feel a stretch from the right hip. So lift the kneecap, firm the thigh, and then drive the big toe towards the back of the room. Then flex the foot, pull the toes in towards the body, push the heel away from the body, drive the heel towards the back of the room, and then lower the leg down with the foot flexed. And once more, we'll move forwards and backwards on that back foot. Knee comes down. Let's do the same on the other side. So straighten out the left leg. Moving forwards and backwards a little bit on the ball of the left foot. Notice how this one feels on this side compared to the last side. A few clicks coming from my ankle on this side. And then lift the leg, bend the knee, 3 big circles, as big and slow as you can. Really opening up that left hip. One more this direction. And then we switch it out to the other direction. big circles. Final one. When you get there, straighten the leg out, drive the toe towards the back of the room until you can feel a stretch coming the whole way from that left hip. Really pushing the toe towards the back of the room, lift the kneecap, firm the thigh, stretch, 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 and then flex the foot, pull the toes in towards the body, drive the heel away from the body, stretch, stretch, firm leg, and then lower it down. And moving forwards and backwards, just a few times on this side. Find that child's pose once again. Now that we might be starting to feel a little more open, you might want to take the knees a little bit wider. Bring the big toes together regardless, and then start to walk the hands towards the front of the room. This time we're going to get a side body stretch. So walking both of the hands towards the left hand side of the mat, the top left hand corner, and then melting the chest down towards the floor. Breathing into the side body. Think about driving the right hip back towards the back of the room, and then crawling the right fingertips forward a little bit more. If you've got a little bit more in it, you can take the right hand place on top of the left, and then melt the chest and forehead towards the floor. 3 big breaths into the side body, and out. Breathing into the right hand side of the body, and out. Breathing in to increase the stretch, breathing out to melt towards the floor. Both fingertips cross the other side, moving nice and slowly. Being gentle on the spine. You can bring one hand directly on top of the other, melt the chest and forehead towards the floor, drive that left hip bone towards the back of the room. And crawl the left fingertips forward a little more. 3 breaths here. Breathing into the left hand side of the body, breathing out to soften. Big breath into the left hand side of the body, breathing out to soften. Big breath into the left hand side of the body, and out to soften. We walk the hands back to neutral, and walk the fingertips forward a little bit more now. See if we've created a little more space by stretching into each side. Once we're here, right arm threads underneath the left armpit with the palm of the hand facing up, and we start to melt down towards the floor. We're stretching into the back of the right shoulder. We soften into this one to increase the stretch. We allow the weight of the body to do the work for us. So staying here for a few breaths. Releasing all tension in the body, melting towards the floor. And then switch it out to the other side. Right arm comes back up, left hand comes underneath the right armpit, left palm facing up, and lower it down towards the floor. Few breaths on this side, softening the body, noticing how this one feels on this side compared to the last side. One more breath, and back to neutral. Start to walk the hands in as you come back up to a kneeling position. Walking the hands in towards the body. Take the knees in, and we'll cross the legs, sitting onto our bums. So take the right leg out towards the front of the room, and the left heel in towards the sit bones. We reach up. Once, like the very start of the class, we reach the fingertips towards the ceiling to make space in the spine, and then see if we can start to bend over the right leg. Coming down, thinking about bringing our chest towards the thigh. Not hunching over the spine like this, but moving forward. So the forehead wants to come to the big toe, chest comes to the upper thigh. And bringing your hands wherever in the lower leg, ankle, or the foot that it can hold on to. And stretching deeply into the stretch. Breathe nice and slowly. Long, slow, deep breaths in these deeper stretches. Like this one, if you need to keep a bend in the knee so you can hold onto the leg, that's also totally fine. We're just working the leg towards straight. Wherever your body's at today, getting a release in the whole back body. One more breath, and slowly walking the fingertips in towards the body, and switching out to the other side. Hands come up and overhead. Remember to really push towards the ceiling to make space. Twist towards the foot, and then start to bring the hands down to wherever they'll grab onto on the lower leg, ankle, or foot. Have a micro bend in the knee, or even quite a generous bend in the knee. Holding on. Bring the chest towards the thigh. Flexing the foot. Pull the toes towards the body. Push the heel away from the body. You're breathing deeply. Two more breaths. You've got this. And release. Start to walk the hands back in towards the body. And now finding our way down onto our backs. Lying down on the mat. Straighten out the legs and the palms of the hands out. And we're going to bend the right knee, squeeze in towards the chest, clasp onto the upper shin. Pull the knee in towards the chest. Let go with the right arm, straighten out the right arm. And use the left hand to draw the left knee, or the right knee, towards the left hand side of the room. Look over the right shoulder. Nice big spinal twist. Try and keep the right shoulder glued to the floor. That means you need to lift the right knee a little higher. That's totally fine. Releasing tension in the body. Three big breaths here. Soften the body. And then bring that knee back into center. Give it a big squeeze. And let it go. Other side. Left knee comes in. Clasp onto the shin. Give it a squeeze into the body. Release the left arm, using that right hand to draw the left knee towards the right hand side of the room, and looking over the left shoulder, keeping that shoulder glued down towards the floor, releasing all tension in the lower body. Allowing the weight of the knee to fall towards the floor, the weight of the shoulder glued to the mat. Nice full body spinal twist. Three breaths on this side. And we draw the knee back into neutral, give it a squeeze, and release, moving into our final Shavasana. If there's any other movements you feel like taking, you might want to add in a little bit of an inversion, taking the feet up, holding them here for a few breaths, letting the blood drain down to the legs. You might want to just bring both knees into the chest and rock from side to side. Or you're welcome to go for a happy baby as well, grabbing onto the bottoms of the feet and pulling the knees down to the outside edge of each shoulder. And when you're ready, take your Shavasana by straightening out the legs and the toes fall wide, palms of the hands facing the ceiling. And you can stay here for as long as you like. Allowing time for the body to absorb each of the movements. Taking time to notice how the body feels compared to the start of the practice. I'll leave you here. Thank you for joining me in this practice. Namaste.